Okay, students, today we're going to do listening and reading practice. So, I'm going to have my brother and I talk about something. This is my brother Jacob. Say hi, Jacob.
Hello.
And he's going to help me read something, and you're going to listen and see if you understand, and we'll ask some questions and talk about it. So, I'm going to start. Hi, Jacob. Do you need any help?
Hi, Allison. Yes, I need some help. I need to go to the store, but I don't know when the bus comes. Does the bus come every hour or half hour?
It comes every half hour. I was going to the store. Do you want a ride in my car?
That would be great. Thank you.
Okay, so that was the story. So, the questions for this are, when does the bus come? So if you remember, it's okay if you don't, the bus comes every half hour. How does Jacob get to the store? He gets a ride with Allison in her car. So that's the two answers from the script that was read. So what I did is I wrote down what we said so we can read it together and go over it to help you understand listening a little bit better, just to help. So right here where it says Allison and Jacob, and then it has these two little dots, that just means whoever is talking. So the first person is Allison. Hi, Jacob. Do you need any help? Hi, Allison. Yes, I need some help. I need to go to the store, but I don't know when the bus comes. Does the bus come every hour or half hour? It comes every half hour. I was going to the store. Do you want a ride in my car? That would be great. Thank you. So again, the question, when does the bus come? If we look at the words, we just look for the word bus and comes together. So right here it says, when the bus comes, does the bus come every hour or half hour? So that's the question, and the answer is right here. It comes every half hour. So the answer for that one is every half hour. How does Jacob get to the store? We know that he gets to the store because he gets a ride with Allison. Because she asks, do you want a ride in my car? And he says, that would be great. So that means that Jacob gets a ride to the store in her car. So for this next one, I'm going to read another story. And we're going to talk about it at the end. So here's the story. I worry about my family. I love them so much. I do not want anything bad to happen to them. I get scared when my family travels because I don't want them to get hurt. Sometimes I get so worried it makes me very sad. I do not know what to do. My friend told me to take a deep breath and remember everything will be okay. What do you think I should do? Okay, so for this one, I wrote down again what it is that I said. So we're going to read it together, what I just said. I worry about my family. I love them so much. I do not want anything bad to happen to them. I get scared when my family travels because I don't want them to get hurt. Sometimes I get so worried it makes me very sad. I do not know what to do. My friend told me to take a deep breath and remember everything will be okay. What do you think I should do? So for this reading and listening practice, I tried to use do not and don't. Remember that do not and don't mean the same thing. So I do not want anything bad to happen to them, and I don't want them to get hurt. Both of them mean to not, means no, I don't want them to get hurt or anything bad to happen to them. So for this question, what do you think I should do? So for this question, you need to think about either what you would do. Again, it's advice that you would give. Advice just means something you would tell another person to do because it is something that you would do, or you think it's something they should do for them that would work best for them. So if you could pause the video and maybe think of something to say that would be advice. So for example, the advice I would give would be maybe it's hard to control things, and sometimes you just need to know that even though bad things can happen to them, everything will be okay because of the time that you've spent with them and the love that you've given them. That's the advice that I would say. And learn to just let go and relax. That's the advice that I would give. So if you could just think of something you would say, maybe even you could think of what you would say in your native language, whether it's Spanish or Swahili or Tagalog. Think about what you would tell them, and then maybe use Google Translate to change it into English and see what it sounds like in English, or see what it says in English. And maybe you'll learn a word or how to express something from your language into English. That would be helpful. So our next story is called Going on Vacation. So you can pause this and read it yourself, or you can read it with me. Or you can do both. You can pause it and read it by yourself, and then press play again, and then read it with me. Mark saved his PTO this year for a vacation. He went to Hawaii for 2 weeks. His family live in Hawaii. He was going to visit them first, but he went to visit his friend on the first day. His friend was sick, but happy to see him. Mark stayed at his family's house. He went to the beach every day. His family made delicious food every night. Mark was happy he was home. So, to go over some of the stuff that you might not know, PTO just means paid time off. So in English, lots of times what they will do is they will put, if there's lots of words that come together all the time, they will put them together by using the first letter of each of those words and put them together. And you usually just pronounce it by saying each letter by itself, PTO. It's not PTO, it's PTO. You just say the names of the letters. So PTO just means paid time off. It's the time at work that you get for vacation that even though you're not at work, you get paid like you're at work. So Mark saved his PTO for the year to use for a vacation. So I think that's all. Delicious. Delicious just means really good, like yummy. Food and Let's see if there's anything else. I think that's it. I think that's the hardest words that I put in there. Delicious and PTO. And Hawaii, for those of you who don't know, is the island in the Pacific Ocean that is a state for the United States, but it's a tropical island. Usually stuff that you see associated with it is like hula skirts and that kind of stuff. So it's just a tropical island that is a state in the United States that a lot of people go to on vacations, but also a lot of people live there and have lived there their whole lives. So there's lots of people, and in Hawaii they actually there is a Hawaiian language. They speak English there, but there is a language that's Hawaiian that's for the native people. There are people who have lived on Hawaii before, like, white people got there, essentially, basically. So so they have their own language. And they do speak English, but a lot of people they speak this language called like Hawaiian Pidgin, which is a combination of Hawaiian and English put together. So, but it's a really nice place and it's really beautiful, and it's just really, really pretty. So a lot of people go there on vacation. But Mark, actually, his family lives there, so that's why he's going there for his vacation. So the question is, first question, how long was Mark in Hawaii? So we're going to go back. Mark was in Hawaii so it says he went to Hawaii for 2 weeks. So this sentence is in past tense, right? Because it doesn't say he goes to Hawaii for 2 weeks. It's he went to Hawaii for 2 weeks. So it's past tense, and we know that he was there for 2 weeks. So he was in Hawaii for 2 weeks. Who did he visit on the first day? So if we go back, it says he was going to visit them, and them is his family first, but he went to visit his friend on the first day. So the answer to that question, who did he visit on the first day? He visited his friend. So all of these answers are going to be in past tense, because we know that the story is in past tense. It happened before right now. And all of the questions are in past tense. See, like was, did, was. So all of these are telling us that the questions are in past tense. So we're going to answer the questions in past tense. So the next question, who did Mark stay with? So we know that we're going to look for the word stayed and Mark. Mark stayed at his family's house. So for the answer is he stayed with his family. We put an ed at the end to make it past tense. He stayed with his family. Did Mark hike every day? Okay, so this one we're going to go back. We're going to look for the word hike. Now, if you look through this, you're going to see that it doesn't say hike anywhere in this story. But we do know that he stayed at his family's house and he went to the beach every day. So we see the word every day, but it's not hike that's next to it, it's beach. So he went to the beach. So the answer for this one, did Mark hike every day? The answer is going to be no. He went to the beach. So that one we could have just said no, but just to tell to answer the question and say where he did go, we said he went to the beach. Was Mark sad to be home? Now this one's kind of an easy question because nobody's sad when they are home, right? But Mark was happy when he was home. So we know that the answer to that question is no, he was happy. So Mark was not sad, he was happy. So for this next one, I thought we could do a reading practice of about something that has to do with COVID-19, which I'm sure you're all aware about and you talk about at work because you all are still working and you have to be very careful. I'm sure you all are wearing masks all the time. And our lives are a little bit different because of, it's called a pandemic in English, which just means something that's happening to everybody at the same time. That's what that means, and and English users use it when they talk about sickness. So when people get sick, they call it a pandemic. When everybody can get sick, and everybody it changes their life. So that's what it means. So I took this from the website, the CDC website for Utah, the state. So each state has their own kind of procedures. Procedures just means the steps that they take to do. So like a procedure, like at work, you could say, my procedure at work is I come in, I do the bathrooms first, and then I clean the offices. That would be like a procedure. It's the order that you do things. So I took this from the Utah's website about childcare. Childcare sounds like what it is. It's about children, and care, meaning who takes care of them, who watches them. And for the state of Utah, if you're an essential employee means somebody that has to be at work. So I believe all of you would count as essential employees because you work at a healthcare facility that you still need to go to work. So I know that most of you have kids that are grown and live on their own in other places. So if you don't have little kids, then this doesn't really, apply to you. But I thought that some of you might have little kids or know somebody who works at the hospital or somebody that has kids and they need someone to watch their kids while they're at work since the schools are closed. So we're going to read this together. The closure of schools as part of the COVID-19 pandemic has created an increased need for childcare in Utah. To meet the needs of essential employees in the public health and safety sectors during the COVID-19 pandemic, a free and temporary network of emergency child care programs has been established. To learn more about the One Utah Child Care Program and who is qualified, please see the overview below. So let's go over some of the words in this reading. So closure just means closed. It means that, so for this sentence, the closure of schools, it means the schools aren't open anymore. Kids can't go to school. And we talked about the word pandemic. So because the schools have closed because of the COVID-19 sickness, it has created an increased need for childcare in Utah. So created means to make. An increased need for childcare. Increased means more. So it means that because the schools have closed because of the sickness, it's made more people need to have childcare or someone to watch their kids since they're at work. To meet the needs of essential employees. Essential means somebody that needs to be there. Essential, for example, so if I said things that are essential to living, things that are essential is stuff that you need to have, like food, water, and a place to stay. Those are pretty essential things for human beings. When it says essential employees, the word essential is describing this thing, this word, employee. It means somebody that works somewhere. So the really important people that work in public health and safety sectors, public just means access to everybody. Everybody can do it. It doesn't matter who you are. Public health. So that means hospitals. Hospitals and healthcare centers are some of them. And safety sectors, that's like police officers, ambulance drivers, firefighters. Those kinds of people are safety sectors. Their sector just means a section or a place of work that it's just a section. It's a piece of it. So essential employees, so people that work in hospitals, that do things like driving ambulances or working, the people who are on the phones for 911, those people are essential, those kinds of people. These kinds of employees, these people that work in those places, they get a free and temporary network of emergency childcare programs. So, free, that's pretty easy. It means it doesn't cost any money. And temporary, the word temporary means it's not going to be all the time. Temporary means it's going to be open or used for a short amount of time. And network just means lots of different places. So, it is not just one place that they are able to take care of kids. It's lots of different places. And emergency, that word's pretty easy. It just means something that's really important. Child care program. So emergency child care programs, that just means really important place to have your kids be able to stay and be taken care of and watched while you're gone working. So this says emergency child care programs has been established. Established means it's a really English word that just means it's been put in place or it has been programs has been made. It's been made. That's what that means. If any of these words still don't make sense to you, I would put the word into Google Translate, or if you have a translator that you use, I would put in this word and see what it comes up as for your native language to help you understand it better if my explanations, if what I'm telling you doesn't make sense. To learn more about the One Utah Child Care Program and who is qualified, please see the overview below. So qualified just means, like what kind of person that you are that makes you able to use the program. And I took this from the website. So if you're looking at this on a website, anything that's in blue and underlined, it means that you can click on it. So I'll show you what that looks like on the website. So the website that this is from is jobs.utah.gov. So for this one, it talks about, it says COVID-19 childcare. So that just means people who need to have somebody watch their kids while they're working. So the reading is from this part right here. And on the website, whenever something is blue and you put your mouse over it and it kind of lights up and underlines, that means that you can click on it. So, for example, you can, for this, it talks about essential employees or parents, overview, and registration. So registration and overview. Overview just means it's some more words explaining what it is, and registration is how you sign up for it. Supply list for children of essential employees. and then providers, and FAQ. It's kind of like PTO. It's when in English they take the first letter of each word of something that comes together a lot. So this just means facts and questions. That's what FAQ means. And then for this option, there's a Spanish option, which is nice. So if you are an essential employee and you want to read this part of the website, hold on, it's going to load. Let's see. It'll have this. This is all in English. If we go back, it has a version that's in Spanish. So it's going to pop up. And look, it's all changed to be in Spanish. So, and with Google Translate, you can change it to whatever language you need. You can change it to Swahili if that's your language, or you can change it. I don't think that they have Tagalog, but let's see if Filipino. Okay, so they changed it to Filipino. There we go. So there's that. So Google Translate is a really useful tool when trying to read things that you can speak English, because I know all of you can speak English pretty well. But sometimes when you read things that are written in English, that's written by the government or officials, it's hard to understand because they use big words that you've never heard before, or you've heard before but you don't quite understand what they mean. So I use Google Translate a lot to help students understand, because it's easier to understand something when you see how it compares to your language. So you can start thinking about English through your language, and it's helpful. So that's it for today. Let me know if you have any questions.